I believe that it's everybody's dream to eat healthy, but some people are still of the opinion that healthy eating is expensive. And because of that, they are held back by actually making the move to start eating healthy. I really do not judge or blame those kind of people, because I once used to have that kind of mindset until I was liberated after an experience that nearly almost cost me my precious life. And now I have practiced eating healthy for many, many years. I can boldly tell you that actually healthy eating is very much more affordable than eating unhealthily or not paying attention to the foods that you eat. And in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you some unconventional tips and tricks that you can use to start eating healthy without overspending. Let's get right into it, shall we? Before I go further to sharing the unconventional tips, I just really wanted to quickly reiterate that eating healthy should actually be everybody's way of life. If you haven't caught up with that yet, then I think that you definitely should, and hurriedly, because your body is the only thing you have to function on the earth. And the quality of the food that you put into your body will determine the quality of life that you're going to have. You cannot continue to eat mindlessly and throw the wrong things into your body and expect your body to actually produce for you and function at maximum capacity. A lot of health conditions, a lot of issues that a lot of people have with their health is as a result of what they actually feed their bodies with. And it's about time that we all woke up and start treating healthy eating like it's actually the main character. Unfortunately, we were not brought up to think like that. And so when someone embarks on a healthy eating journey, people automatically assume that they are maybe punishing themselves or suffering themselves and they're not enjoying life anymore. But that's actually a false narrative, because the people who aren't paying attention to their health are the ones that are actually punishing themselves. And those who have chosen the healthier way of eating are the ones that are doing themselves all the good in the world. And healthy, again, like I've said so many times on this channel, healthy food does not mean boring. Healthy eating does not mean bland. You can actually enjoy a variety of food, feel very satisfied and satiated all the time, even whilst eating healthy. You just need to know what to do and the steps to take to ensure it. That's pretty much what we're about right now as a brand, Zeelicious Foods. We're here to just help you simplify this healthy eating and living a healthy lifestyle in general. So before I go on with the tips, I just put down here a quick definition of what healthy eating is, just so that we can catch up with it again. Healthy eating is simply eating a variety of foods that give your body the nutrients it needs to feel good, stay strong, and function well. So fruits that are natural, fruits that are organic, think fruits, think vegetables, think whole grains, think proteins, and healthy fats. And then of course, with healthy eating, we totally avoid things like too much sugar, too much salt, so much processed foods, or anything that really has to undergo a whole lot of process and procedure before it finally comes out into an edible item. It's not about eating salads every day. I've always said that. It's not about mixing greens and just mixing things, or maybe saying you want to quit rice forever. Healthy eating does not require you to quit rice. It's just about choosing better food options that nourish your body most of the time. And I tell you that your body would always thank you for it, especially as you advance in age. Okay, now, so let's move straight up to the unconventional tips that I have to share. Some of them you may have heard before. Some of them you've probably never heard before. And I'm so excited to share them with you. These are some tips that I actually use in my own life that has helped make healthy eating an enjoyable natural phenomenon without me spending a whole lot of money to make it happen. Let's get right into it, shall we? The first unconventional tip that I put down here on my list is for you to get rid of the mindset that healthy eating or eating healthy is expensive. That's the very first thing, because until you break free from that limiting belief, you would continue to think that it's expensive to eat healthy, and because of that, you may never really make the move to actually go figure it out. People just say it's expensive, maybe because everybody else is sounding the alarm. But have you tried to see if it's actually expensive? Have you? Maybe someone who has access to where local produce are actually made can have local produce delivered to them very quickly without even paying so much money but because he has heard and he believes that healthy eating is expensive, he doesn't even explore the possibility of that option. So first of all, you just need to first remove that mindset that healthy eating is expensive. Healthy eating is not expensive. And even if it was expensive, like I usually would say to people, you cannot put a price on your health. You can't. If you eat right and eat well the way you should, I promise you that you're going to have reduced doctor visits. You won't need to go to the hospital to treat yourself of all kinds of sicknesses and diseases. The amount of money you spend going to the hospital to treat one ailment or another can actually be put into eating healthy, into buying things that actually nourish your body. If you check it, right, things like rice, beans, your vegetables and your fruit are actually way cheaper or more affordable than things like constantly buying your processed foods. For example, if you compare the cost of making a plate of rice and beans that has maybe vegetables in it and enough protein to maybe a big wrap of shawarma or pizza. Right now, I think the medium size or even the smallest size pizza costs, I think, about 10,000 naira. With that 10,000 naira, you can make a pot of healthy food that can even last you up to 3 or 4 servings. You are feeling hungry. You run to the malam and you buy yourself a pack of biscuits. And once you're done eating that biscuit, 2 seconds later, you feel hungry. It satisfies you in the moment, but 2 seconds later, you feel very hungry. You want another biscuit. You want another biscuit. Before you know it, you've probably eaten 1,000 naira worth of biscuit when you could have just gone maybe to buy an apple or carrots that actually contain fiber that will keep you satiated for a longer period of time and then add lots of nutrients to your body. So biscuit on one hand you consume and then it's adding no nutrients whatsoever. It's keeping you constipated, keeping you bloated, keeping your brain foggy and all of that bad stuff compared to an apple or a carrot. Carrots that actually add vitality to your skin, helps with your eyes. Apples contain good fiber that keeps your bowels moving and then other nutrients and vitamins and minerals that your body actually needs to function at maximum capacity. So it's just about having a mindset shift pretty much. Once you're able to shift your mind from the fact that healthy eating is not expensive, I promise you, you'll be liberated. And every time you go into the store, a grocery store to buy foods, you make food choices that actually help your body thrive instead of food choices that actually hurt your body. So change your mindset. It actually just starts from there. Okay. I put down an example here of an unhealthy food option and a healthy food option. So on one hand, on this side, we have an unhealthy food option of a fast food meal that maybe contains chicken and chips with a bottle of soda. The chicken lap, in the fast food can maybe cost maybe 3,500 naira now. I don't know if it has gone up. A French fry can cost 1,500. 3,500 plus 1,500 is 5,000. A bottle of soda will maybe cost you 700 naira or 1,000 naira now. So let's just say 6,000 in total, right? Now, if you come to the other side and you decide to make yourself a pot of beans porridge and sweet potato, so a pot of beans and sweet potato porridge with vegetables, right? You literally would spend maybe the same amount or even less, but you would produce more servings than what you have spent to buy the processed foods, the fast food from the fast food restaurants. So it's just all about priority and choosing. It's just all about choosing. At the end of the day, it's just a choice. So imagine you continue spending that amount of money on fast food every day compared to when you save that money, put it together, go to the market, buy food ingredients and make the food yourself. Think about it, okay? The second unconventional tip that can help you start eating healthy without spending so much money will be for you to choose a base ingredient of the week. So at the beginning of the week, you ask yourself, okay, what is one thing that I know that I feel like eating this week that is healthy? You can choose sweet potato. You can choose beans. So from beans, for example, you buy the beans. You can make beans porridge. You can make akara. You can make moi moi from the beans. You can even make plain beans and then maybe stew with maybe vegetable stew or vegetable sauce. So just choose a base ingredient and then work your way around it and ask yourself, how can you create different type or different varieties of meals with this base ingredients? This actually works for me it has worked for me countlessly. Sometimes my base ingredients can be a pot of vegetable soup. or vegetable stew. And then I'm asking myself, what are the side dishes that I can serve with this vegetable stew? So sometimes I would serve it with some brown rice, sometimes with quinoa, sometimes with sweet potatoes. Sometimes I would even mix it together with beans and rice to form a meal. But usually throughout the week, I just create varieties of meals with the base ingredient or the base meal that you have created. So ask yourself, what is that base meal that you can create and then you can use to make a variety of other meals from for a particular week. That way you are keeping things very concise. In fact, it even helps you with your planning, helps you with your keeping a right structure with your meal planning and stuff. And definitely, of course, it helps you save a lot of money. Okay. The third unconventional tip that I have here on my list that can start helping you eat healthy and save a lot of money will be for you to use a meal extender formula idea. Now, this pretty much means that you find I won't use the word cheap, or affordable, healthy food ingredients and then use it to bulk up your meals. So I'll give a perfect example. You make a pot of jollof rice, right? Now, usually you will just eat that pot of jollof rice with maybe a piece of meat or something. You know, you can bulk up the quantity and the size of that jollof rice by adding a lot of affordable vegetables like cabbage, carrots. You can even add ugu leaves to your jollof rice or even green vegetables. Add a lot of it to your jollof rice to bulk it up. It doesn't offend the taste. It doesn't change the taste. Instead, what it does is it bulks up your meal and you find that you're eating, if you usually would eat this quantity of rice, you will still eat the same quantity, right? But now the food has all of these extenders that bulk things up. You will eat the same quantity, but you're not eating the same quantity of rice like you would usually eat, because now the food now has what? All of the vegetables and stuff that contain a lot of fiber that will keep you full or get you full very quickly and then keep you full for much longer. This is one trick that I use when I'm making a pot of tomato stew, for example. I put a lot of vegetables inside of the stew and it almost now looks like vegetable stew. And then when I want to eat with maybe rice or beans, I'm taking a very small quantity of rice and I'm heaping a lot of that vegetable stew on the plate. And before I realize what's going on, I'm very full and satisfied with that little portion of rice I've taken, because now I have mixed things up with the vegetable stew that I ate. So if you're making fried rice, for example, one good way you can bulk things up is to add lots of affordable vegetables. Carrots is a good way to start. Sweet corn is a good one. You can even put lettuce in there, cabbage, put loads and loads of cabbage in there as well, and just bulk up the meal. I promise you the taste is not altered. You want to make a pot of yam porridge. Don't just make yam porridge. Add a lot of ugu, add a lot of green vegetables, add a lot of spinach to things, and then season it correctly. Mix it together. It will last you for a longer period. You've added more nutrients and fiber instead of just making it one food category meal. And then, of course, you are not going to be spending a lot of money, because now you have you bulked up that meal and you've probably increased the serving size or the quantity of the food. It works for me all the time. You can try it out. It works for me all the time. So it's pretty much called a meal extender formula, by just adding affordable things to the meals that you usually make on a regular, just to bulk it up. I know some people who add, whenever they want to make rice, they add cauliflower. They call it cauliflower rice. So they mince cauliflower and add it to the rice and mix it up. So it just gives the illusion that this food is plenty, but it's not actually much. It's a little quantity, and then you actually would get fuller from that little quantity, because now you've added vegetables that give you a lot of fiber that keeps you very full. Try it. It works like magic. And another unconventional tip that I actually use to eat healthy on a budget would be for you to build what I call a ₦0 recipe folder. So this recipe folder would contain recipes that cost you almost next to nothing to make. If I were to give you one example, I would use okra soup that's made with maybe panla fish. Don't get me wrong, I know it costs you money, but it doesn't cost you so much to make a pot of okra soup. And you don't even need swallow. I've showed you okra soup recipes that you can enjoy just as is without having a side dish like swallow and whatnot, but you can actually add swallow to it if you wanted to, because the things that we use to make the starchy balls, which is what we call swallow, are not very expensive. So build a recipe folder. Think through, When you're scrolling on TikTok, don't just be scrolling. When you see a food idea or a recipe idea that looks like, oh, this is not going to cost money, get the recipe, write it out, and just keep accumulating healthy food recipe ideas. And then anytime you want to make a healthy meal, just go there and pick from there and then go do your grocery shopping. This works for me as well. In my Naira, well, it's not called you can't really technically call it Naira because it still costs you money. But the whole idea is for you to understand that it doesn't really cost you a lot of money to actually make this meal. In my own Naira recipe folder, I have, I think, about 20 to 25 recipes that I can share that doesn't really cost me so much. Maybe what we can even do, Benedicta, is to create a meal plan with the Naira recipes that I have and then share it with the audience. I think that would also help. So pretty much it's all about getting affordable food ingredients and putting them together to make yourself different meals at different times in your life. Okay. The next unconventional tip, this one is not really unconventional. Maybe you've probably heard this before, would be for you to plan your meals. Plan your meals. You can actually plan your meals just like you plan your day and you plan your life. Plan your meals. Don't just wake up one morning and say, okay, what are we eating today? I'm not sure. No. You can actually plan your meals at the beginning of a month and then create a grocery list based on the meals that you have set out that you want to eat for that month. And then stick to the grocery list. Plan your meals. Planning your meals actually helps you cook healthy. The same amount of money that you would spend to eat spontaneously or at different times or to eat the unhealthy things is the same amount of money you can actually use to plan to eat healthy throughout the month. It's just all about planning and bringing focus, awareness, and attention to things so that you're not just doing things scatteredly. Planning your meals actually helps a lot. It helps tremendously. And again, planning your meals doesn't necessarily mean that what you write there must actually be cast in stone, like you must stick to what you have said you will eat on Monday or Tuesday. No. It's just a way to guide you. And then when you go to the grocery store to buy, you stock up your kitchen and your pantry with things on the meal plan. And then that meal plan is a guide that just guides your decision so that you're not just waking up and thinking off the top of your head. Because when you don't have your meals planned, right, this is what mostly would end up happening. By the time you wake up in the morning that day and you're thinking, what am I going to have for breakfast? What am I going to have for lunch? What am I going to have for dinner? It's overwhelming for you to process all of that information coupled with the work you still have to do that day. So what you now do is you now end up maybe buying this fast food here. You end up buying that snack there. You end up buying these processed foods there. By the end of the day, you realize that you probably had spent 20K buying different things outside, as opposed to if you had planned the meals and then went grocery store shopping, and then maybe sometimes what you can even do is plan or prep your ingredients ahead of time. So when it's actually time to cook, you already have all of your ingredients prepped and planned, and all you just need to do is put things together in the pot and make yourself a meal. So plan your meals. It's something that actually really helps cut down and save you a whole lot of money. Try it sometime, okay? Before we continue with the video, here's a quick reminder. If you're loving the healthy and delicious recipes I'm sharing today, you will absolutely love our collection of healthy meal plans and ebooks. We've got something for everyone, from a 7-day healthy meal plan to a low-carb meal plan to a weight loss meal plan to a detox meal plan and diabetes-friendly options as well. We also have a healthy smoothie ebook and a healthy snack ebook, all created to help you enjoy your healthy eating journey without stress or confusion. You can explore the full collection by clicking the link in the description box below and then take advantage of these amazing resources to help you thrive on your wellness journey. The next way you can eat healthy without overspending will be for you to find creative ways to make healthy meals taste and look great. When your healthy meals taste and look great, you reduce the urge to always want to go spend money buying things from fast food restaurants or things online that you just see. Find ways to make healthy food look good, taste good. There's so many ways. I've personally proven to you that healthy food can actually taste bomb. You can have a good plate of rice filled with chicken and salads and that's a healthy food. You can have think about it. Whatever it is that you think you were supposed to give up whilst eating healthy can actually be turned into a healthy meal that you can enjoy that keeps you nourished and well satisfied. Healthy eating is not just you eating a bland plate of vegetables and cabbage and maybe cucumber. No, you can eat the things that you actually love and still live a healthy lifestyle. You just need to understand the fundamentals, the basics of healthy eating, and then find herbs and spices and ingredients that help build a lot of flavor, and then of course learn cooking methods that help build a lot of flavor while you're cooking. And something else that I want to add here is learn how to also plate your food right. Plating your food makes your food visually appealing. Understand plating techniques, understand cooking techniques that make your healthy food look really, really, really nourishing. And you will not want to spend money on fast foods and restaurants, overly consuming money. And then make it exciting and interesting to cook. Make cooking interesting. Make it an interesting phenomenon, because most people find cooking as boring. But when cooking becomes interesting, when you look at cooking as not just a chore or a responsibility or an obligation you have to fulfill, but a way for you to nourish your body and treat your body right, I promise you, you will put in effort to love on yourself with the meals that you create by yourself. I totally enjoy cooking. And even there was a time I actually had a chef. I still have one. But I love and enjoy cooking my foods myself. And I feel very weird when a chef cooks the food and then hands it over. It feels like somebody is depriving me of something. Not necessarily because I love to cook, but I personally like to be in control of what goes into the pots of the food that I'm going to put into my belly. Enjoy the cooking. Enjoy cooking. Cooking is fun. See it as you loving on yourself, loving on your body, and giving your body a treat that it deserves, okay? This next one, of course, if your health permits you, you can try intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting is just pretty much eating at a particular window frame in a day, time frame in a day, and eating just one big meal per day, or maybe 2 big meals per day. But again, you need to be very sure that your health will permit you to do this. So, for example, you can fast for maybe a 12-hour period and have an 8-hour eating window in your day. And during that 8-hour eating window is when you can now eat the things that you want to eat, or you stick to eating just 1 meal per day. When you are eating just 1 meal per day, of course, you're going to be saving yourself a lot of money when it comes to eating healthy. But yeah, your health needs to permit you to do intermittent fasting, okay? But this isn't just about starving yourself. It's about simplifying your eating habits while still staying active. But you must also ensure that the meal that you're eating, that 1 meal or 2 meals per day, are nutrient packed. They are heavy on the different food categories, like your carbohydrates, protein, fats. It has to be very well balanced so that you're not eating just one food group. Remember, the goal and the base is for you to eat healthy but not spend a lot. So eating once, but ensure that 1 meal is nutrient packed, okay? Next one will be for you to buy seasonal and local produce, like seasonal fruits and vegetables. They are cheaper. When tomatoes are in season, buy plenty tomatoes and stock up in the fridge, in the freezer. Plantains, when they are in season, make your meal plans or center your meal plans around foods that are in season per time. And then if you have access to the local markets, shop from local markets instead of supermarkets. Go to Mile 12, go to K2. If you can't go, maybe send someone to go on your behalf, but shop from local markets. And if you have access to a farm, maybe you have farms around you, you live in rural areas, you live in areas that you can easily locate the farms. You can actually ensure that you're getting your food produced directly from the farms. It's even better. That's why I love taking road trips sometimes. And when I go on road trips, I look forward to buying the things that the market women will be selling on the roadside that usually will come from the farms, like corn, pear, plantains, yam. You see lots of sweet potato tubers. Those are very, very fresh, and they're always very affordable. So focus on making your meal plans, or center your meal plans around meals that are, or in food ingredients that are in season, and then of course food ingredients that are locally made. Don't go and be looking for blueberries and strawberries. Don't be looking for kale and spinach when you have ugu and green vegetable and water leaf in Nigeria. That is a lot. Does that make sense? Don't go and be looking for eggplants when you have garden eggs. So look for local alternatives and stop focusing on, you don't have to eat an apple before you can get good fiber. You can get fiber from things like even your garden eggs. You can get fiber from different sources of vegetables that are readily available to us in Nigeria. So let's focus on our focus. Okay, the next one here on my list is actually one of my favorite ones, because this is one I know that I abide by so well. It's simply repurpose your leftovers. Stop throwing away your leftovers. See, that small food, keep it in the fridge. It will come in handy. It always comes in handy. I also have this thing that I do where I say, I'm doing a fridge raid. Maybe at the end of the week, I'm saying to myself, throughout today, I'm not going to cook anything. I'm just going to look inside my fridge and raid it. I'm only going to eat what I see in the fridge. And I somehow find that I have one leftover that I left over on Monday, one leftover I left over on Tuesday, something I left over on Thursday. By the time you put it together, you've made yourself a big meal. And that day, you don't have to spend any money making yourself another meal. So you need to learn how to repurpose your leftovers. And of course, sometimes what you think is a leftover, maybe you made a pot of turkey stew on a Monday. You can use that turkey stew and make a pot of jollof rice on a Wednesday. Don't throw it away. You don't need to now go and start buying tomato and onions again. Just take the turkey stew and then mix it up with the rice. Allow it to cook for a bit, and then you have what you call jollof turkey stew. Does that make sense? Or maybe you make a pot of vegetable stew or vegetable soup. You say, don't just think you can use the vegetable soup to eat only eba or pounded yam. You can use it for yam. You can use it for pasta. You can use it for rice. You can use it for a variety of things. So your leftovers, treat them like gold because they're actually gold, okay? And the final point that I've put down here on my list on how you can eat healthy without overspending would be for you to cook more meals at home. I think I have said this in earlier points. Avoid takeouts. In fact, avoid takeout as much as possible because these days, a lot of people, especially in this part of the world, we don't have bodies that actually regulate the way some of these fast foods and these people who sell food operates. Their mode of operation is questionable to a very large extent. The rate of typhoid or things like food poisoning is on a high level in this part of the world because there are no bodies that check the operations of these food service providers. So apart from even just saving money, take care of your health by cooking more of your meals at home. When you cook more of your meals at home, you are certain of the ingredients that you're using to make the meal. So for example, and then of course, apart from that, you are saving money. So if you would spend 3,000 to 5,000 naira every day buying food, or 2,000 naira every day buying food, if you calculate that 2,000 naira times maybe 5, that's 10,000 naira. You know, you can actually make 2 meals with that amount of money. Yes, with meals that are, if you use the tip I gave you in my third point where I said, start collating 0 naira recipes, 0 naira friendly recipes. You can actually make 2 different meals or even more that will give you multiple servings with that amount of money. So that way you're in control of what is happening. So start cooking more of your own meals at home for your health and then of course to save your money. I promise you it saves you a lot of money. I personally have I did the test. I did it as an experiment. 1 week I said I wasn't going to cook anything. I was always going to eat out. I found out that when I did that experiment, I spent about, and I'm not even joking guys, I spent over 420,000 naira eating out that week. But the reason why was because on some days I ate out with other people who I had to pay for. But if you think about it, the week where I didn't actually eat out, I spent less than 50k. I'm not even joking. And the same people who followed me to eat ate with me during that week as well. But we ate from the plates that I made from the house. So I literally spent less than 50k cooking throughout that week on my own. The only thing it cost me was time. But with proper planning, you can actually conserve your time as well. And then just ensure that you are maximizing the use of your time. I tell you, it's just all about having a mindset reset and then just finding ways that help you make these things work. That's pretty much all that I have to share. I hope that you found this video valuable. I thought it was important to shoot it because it's very important that we are actually imbibing this culture of eating healthy and stop giving the excuse that healthy eating is expensive. It's not. It's actually not. Healthy eating is actually cheaper. If you check it in the grand scheme of things, it's actually cheaper. You just need to change the way that you think and the way that you see things. I hope it has helped. That's all that I have for you for today's video. If you found it helpful, please share with your family and friends so that they too can learn something as well, and then we can all continue to learn and grow together. I'll see you next time with another video. Until then, remember to continue to live a healthy lifestyle. Take care.